first, what we'll be doing is we will be cloning this repository. This goes to one of my projects called try.vsnth.dev, where I basically, okay, for some reason, I guess this seems to be broken. Let me see. What's the issue? 404? Okay, well, I know how this is broken, but don't worry. We'll we'll just fix that. It's not a problem. But essentially this is a playground where I play by creating, different pages and different components. So this is kind of like a playground, my own playground, right? Try.vsnth.dev. So let's clone this repository first. So the command that I'll use to clone this is, because I have GitHub's CLI, I'll do gh repo clone try. So let me hit enter, and you will see I get the try repository. Now if I go to try, I have my latest version of Node.js. Okay, do you hear any background noise? I want someone to tell me.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. That means my microphone is working as it should. So let me go into SRC, right? And here what I will do is I will say code dot, and that opens VS Code, right? And the way I open this entire thing is I'll do Control Shift P, open with live server. Now live server is an extension. I'm sure most of you will already know, but I'll still show you for those who don't really know. So this is a development server with live reloading feature for both static and dynamic feature, dynamic pages, right? So this is the extension that I'll use. Once you have that extension and an index.html in your root directory, what we'll be doing is we'll do Control Shift P, open with live server, right? And once I do that, it'll take just a few seconds. It says it's activating extensions and it's starting, and boom, there we go. So we have the index page right now at localhost 3000. And what I want to do is I want to go into pages and I want to create a new page. Let's make a new page and let's call it Alpa login, right? That's a sample name that I'm giving it. It's just a draft thing. So in this, what I want to do is I'll go into blog index, follow the same structure, right? So first I'll make a new index HTML, right? And then I have Emmet. Emmet comes pre-installed with Visual Studio Code. So I just have to do one exclamation and you can see it says Emmet abbreviation. I do that and bam, I get an HTML boilerplate code. Once I have that, I will give it some name. We'll just wait for a second and we'll save it, right? So the title for now is document. To access this in my live server, I'll go /pages/alpa login. That should be able to give me document, which it really does. The next thing what I'll do is I'll change the title of the page. For that, I'll go into one of my existing ones, copy this and paste it here, and I'll say alpha, and here I'll say login. This A, I want to keep it short, a small a, for branding purposes. That's it. So now let's get started with Tailwind CSS, right? So first thing that I want to do is install Tailwind on this, and the easiest way to install Tailwind, I'll let me just first open up the documentation for Tailwind CSS, right? So this is the documentation, tailwind css.com/docs, and it'll automatically go into installation. Once you're here, you will see there are 1, 2, 3, 4 methods of installing Tailwind CSS, right? The first method requires you to install Tailwind CSS and then use Tailwind CSS, where you would get a specially designed CSS file that you can send to your clients. The second method is using Post CSS, which is a bit more complicated. You need Post CSS. This you can use for like any real world projects, any big projects. Like for example, this project Alpa is a project that I'm doing, and this is just a sample demo page, login page. But later we would want to have the real application being built. Then we would use this method, Post CSS method, which is much more extensive, much more customizable, and much more versatile than using the Tailwind CLI. Then you have guides for each single framework, like what if you're using Vite, what if you're using Create React app, How about remix or svelte or parcel, things like that. And finally, the one that we'll be using is place CDN. This is the easiest way of getting Tailwind CSS on your document. And to basically show you that Tailwind CSS works, what I'll be doing is I'll go to my page, I'll go to VS Code and put an H1 here and call it Alpa. Let's call it Alpa Hello World. Just to show you some random content, I'll save it. I'll go and you see this is how a normal, a normal HTML document without any styles would look like. Now, what we'll be doing is we'll copy this script file, script tag, one script tag, simple one. We copy that. Go in, go to our HTML. Let's have a comment called Tailwind and paste it there. And as soon as I save and go back, you'll see the font has completely changed, and there's no like padding or margin or anything, right? So if I, for example, zoom out, you will see the H1, all the styles from the H1 are stripped. All you have is basically a simple text element that looks the same as being actually a p tag. So if I, for example, replicate this, change it from an H1 to a p, you'll see they both will look exactly same. And that's because it has Tailwind's neutralization, right? It strips all the styles from this. So now that we have some Tailwind installed, let's configure it. We'll follow this guide step by step. Step 1 is over. We added the script. Step 2 is customizing it, adding a custom config. This we'll do when required, right? First, what we'll do is we will create HTML markup for our Tailwind for the login system. So the way I want the login system to be is so first thing what we'll do is we want a nav bar with a logo, right? So let's say let's call it header. I'm going to use a header tag for this, right? And then this header tag would have a container like that. And this container would have I'll explain what the container class does and all of that. Just hang on for now. So this container tag will have three things. Number one, it'll have the logo, the branding, right? Then it would have a nav menu, right? Then it would have a CTA button, right? Three things: a CTA button, a nav menu, and some branding. So the way we would do it is let's add some branding. For now, I'm just gonna add a span tag. Let's call it Alpa for now, just for now, right? So you have a small, like teeny tiny Alpa right at the top. Then for nav menu, I'm gonna use a nav tag, and here I want anchor tags. I want 5 anchor tags, so I'll do that. Oh damn, that didn't work well. That's so weird. I don't know what happened with Emmet, so I'm sorry. Let's make a anchor tag. Let's have href to hash for now. Let's call it home. And let's call it about GitHub. What else do we want here? Suggest me some links. Anyone?
What about
Contact.
contact?
Contact, huh? We can do that as well. GitHub we'll keep at the last. Array, why does it? Oh, it's going actually. I didn't see that. Okay. Now that we have 4 of them, home, about, contact, and GitHub, we will move forward with it. CTA, we want a button. So for that, I'll most probably make this an A as well, but I will style it differently. This button will be create new. Okay. This is just a sample design. I'm showing how to make a nav bar right now in Tailwind. Not a responsive one, a non-responsive navbar. Responsiveness also we might see, but at a later time, because it will take a lot of time to make this responsive, right? First thing that I want in this navbar is a proper background, right? Now for that, I already have my color scheme already set up. So I'm going to use a particular color scheme. So I'm going to open my swatches. use the color scheme that I want. And the background, I want this lavender blush color. So, but you could do this two ways. You could go into your body, right? Have a class here. I hope everyone is able to see my, see the code properly, read the code well. If not, you can open your mic and tell me that you are not able to see and the problem, and I'll try to fix it. This is the first thing. You can do this way. Just paste the color like in a very raw format, and you will see the background changed. Slight pink, right? But we do not want to have like this, because then it will become very hard to change. So what we'll do is we'll create a Tailwind config, because now we want a custom color. And the way we'll do it is we'll right click here, say new file, and we'll call it tailwind.web.js. This is, you can call this file anything. I'm just calling it this way so that it looks good. I mean, we understand that this is a web config. That's my own naming convention. You can use any naming convention that you prefer. So here I'm just going to say console.log tailwind.config, just like that, and save. Right? What I'll do is I'll right click, inspect, go to console, and right now you see there's nothing here. And I'm going to go here and say script src is going to be, or will give properly this path, yes. And type I'm going to set as module, just like that. Now when I save and go back, you will see there's like an empty proxy. Okay, not a problem. That warning, other two warnings will basically, these two warnings will go away as we add more content. So now I see a proxy. I'm going to say in that proxy, right, I'm going to say tailwind.config is equal to, that's an object. And here we will have theme extend colors, right? And then here I'm going to say light and have that color being pasted. We have one more color called primary, or let's call it brand, right? Let's go into Chrome, copy our palette, paste this in. We need a hash. And then I also have one more called dark. That's not a, yeah. Let's copy that one as well. Now that we have all three colors here, I'm going to save it and go back. And you see now if I want the dark color, all I have to do is say bg dark. Hopefully that'll work. See, that's how you add, you basically customize Tailwind to your liking and add custom colors in the in this kind of like a CDN installation. If you're using something else, then the process completely changes. You would have a tailwind.config.js, and it's completely different. But if you're using web version of Tailwind, then this is the process that we'd follow, right? Now that we have our custom colors, let's move on and let's design our nav bar. We do not want bg dark, at least for now. We want bg light. We will be adding dark mode in this video itself if time allows. Otherwise we'll see what to do. So we have our header. I want to say bg brand. Okay. And I want to say text white. You can see that already like starts to look a little bit better, but it has like unreasonable amount of zoom, so we don't want that. And also you might be like, hey, why did he add like a container class? What's the meaning of it? This is basically, if I add mx auto, you will see container class basically gives you some spacing on the left and on the right, so that it does not like, the content is not completely squished down. It's not like touching the edges of the screen, right? To keep things a little bit centered. And this, I'm going to make it flex, and you will see they are all in one line, right? Now, what I want to do is I want all of these three to be, I'll show you what to do. So first, what we want is we want to say justify, let's call it between. This is justify space between, and you can see how everything is like kind of spaced out. The first element takes the first position, the middle one is in the middle, although not exactly middle. Some of you who are really looking at the design will notice and will be like, "Arey, this is not exactly in the middle." We'll fix that. But then at the end of the day, you have the create new button, right? Now what we'll do is, if I show you, if I right click and inspect element, you will see, I'm going to dock it to the bottom just for a few moments. And here, if I show you, span is only this much, nav is only this much, and create new is also only this much, which is not exactly what we wanted, right? We want them to be exactly center. So what we'll do is we'll wrap this in a div, right? And we'll say class w dash full, that is width 100%. And you will see, the first one starts to take complete width. That is, if I go here, you will see entire width, and the other ones are kind of, again, squished. They're like being crushed. So what I'll do is I'll go to the nav and I'll also make w dash full. Now you will see they both take equal amount of width, right? This one and this one take equal amount of width. And the last one, the remaining space is given to our CTA button, right? So what we will do is to create some space for the CTA button as well. We'll cut that, make another div, and we'll put class w dash full here. And now you will see they are again on the center, but there is a problem with this. And the problem is, if I go to header container, this one is right. It's on the alpha, the logo is on the right position. But this one was supposed to appear exactly on the center, and we all know that they are slightly offset. They are not in the center, right? To make them, you can see I am highlighting it, and you can see they are in the starting part of it. They are not in the center. To fix that, what we will do is we will go back to nav, and here we will say flex and justify center. Right now they are exactly center, and if I highlight, you can see they are perfectly like centered now on my monitor, and this will be centered in any monitor as long as you're having full width on everything on the containers basically, right? Now the third thing that we have is this create new button should not be here in the awkward position. It should be on that other part, like the end of the container. So we'll do a very similar solution here. We will do flex justify end, and you will see they are again spaced, but this time they are perfectly pixel perfect, and they're exactly in the center. First thing that I want to do is add some this menu. Honestly saying, this menu looks like it hasn't eaten from a week. There's no padding, no beautifulness, right? It's all bony. What we'll do is we'll go to our container, or most probably we'll go to our header, and here we will say py4. Let's see how py4 looks. Okay, that looks good. How about py6? That looks much better. I prefer py6 much better than py4. So let's go with that. And the next thing I want to do is, you can see again this, how should I put it? The nav menu, they are all like completely attached and completely squished. There is nothing differentiating them. So let's add a Tailwind utility class. Let's call it space x. Let's do 2. Space x is basically add margin left and right in the x axis for all the child elements. That is 2. 2 has a specific value, and now you can see the nav is starting to look like a real nav, right? So let's add 4 and see how that looks. 4 looks way better than 2 did. Okay, we have a good menu. We have the logo we need to have, and I do have the logo. So what we'll do is we'll go to Adobe XD. I had the logo in Adobe XD. I'll just take that. Okay, was the logo, and I will basically Control E export that into an SVG. It's all embedded and it's all minified. Let's just not have it minified. And I'm gonna change this from this PC to m.2 to projects. We were in the try project, src, pages, and alpha login. Save. And I think I already had it like a logo thing. So let's minimize this, go to VS Code, and you will see logo.svg right there. I'm gonna alt Z to toggle, basically that would basically toggle the line wrapping feature. And what I'll do is I'll just remove width and height. First thing to do, remove width and height, any SVG. Second thing to do is there are like two fills here, fill and stroke. What we will do is we will say Control Shift. Actually, wherever this is, I'm selecting both and saying current color. So that this allows me to, current color basically in SVG allows me to change the color of the SVG basing on font color. So I can change it through Tailwind, right? I'm going to copy that. I mean, technically save that. I have an XML SVG formatter, so it did format it. I close it. And instead of this text, right, instead of this text, what I will do is I will just cut everything, cut like that, and paste it here. For now, we are inlining it, but as we go forward, we might use like a bundler or something like that in the future to make it look better. But now, if you look, that logo has appeared, except it's very big and it's giant. Let's reduce the size of it, and for that, I'm gonna add again some Tailwind classes. So W, not W actually, H. Let's add H2. That's way too small. H4, H8, H7. I'm just eyeballing it at this point. Okay, so for just to show you a problem in the nav, I'm going to say H12. So do you see how the logo is perfectly sized, but the nav and the create new button are basically going upwards. They're like stuck at the top. They're not exactly in the center. So let's fix the problem. I will show you. If I inspect it, you will see there is like huge gap. Even though our nav tag is basically taking the full height, that is 48 pixels, our menus are not in the center, right? And if I do the same thing, you will see our create new menu is actually at the top, not in the center. So to fix that, first thing that we'll do, I've intentionally made the logo unreasonably big to show you. And for that, instead of along with justify center, I'll do items center. This is going to align everything in the vertical axis, like the y axis, right? And here also I will do items center. Now you can see both look better. No matter what is the size of the logo, they look better. Now we can go back and fix that bug. And now that the bug is fixed, let's make it 7, and the logo looks much better. Everything actually looks much better. Now we want this create new button. Instead of this button, I want like a plus button, not really a create new button. We'll figure out. So for Tailwind, I'll show you a resource. There is like this website called Hero Icons, which is actually designed for Tailwind CSS, and it's MIT. So all are like free icons. So I'm gonna click on plus here. Copy this plus, copy SVG, and put it inside this create new. Let's have a plus before create new. So I'm gonna basically delete that. Paste our SVG, fix indentation, and say span create new, like that. If I go back, you will see a plus and a create new. Now, what essentially I want, now you can see the logo is not, if we've got the same bug with the logo, text has become big. This has adjusted because we fixed the bug here, but the logo is at the top. So let's fix that. Flex, items center. The logo is now fixed. We don't want this button to take this much, huh? So first what I will do is style this button. For that, I'll apply a class. Let's see how to make a button in Tailwind CSS, right? A good button. So I'm going to say BG white. I want this button to be inverted. So text primary. I have no idea why text primary didn't work. Let me see. What was that? It's not primary. It's brand. Okay, that worked. And then how about I do text dark? Is it really dark? I don't see that. How that's dark. Yeah. Okay, I see how that's working. Cool. So text dark, and I'm going to say font semi bold. Much better. Font bold, maybe? Yeah. Font bold. No, no, actually semi bold is the good one here because it matches the thickness of the plus button. And I'm gonna say flex so that it's no longer that ugly. The plus button is, sits beside the text. Next thing what we will do here is we will say, hmm, they are not aligned properly. Let me show you. If I zoom in, you see how the plus button is at the top and create new is at the center, right? So what we'll do is, because we have flex, items center, like that, and now you can see they both are exactly in the center, right? Let's add some padding, py1, little bit of padding, px2. Wait, can you guys hear me and see me? Can you people hear? Okay. For some reason, I don't know why my Discord, like, I'll reload. I don't know why that happened. Oh, both I have PY, so this should be PX. That looks much more like a button. I'm gonna go back to zero zoom. Come on. Yeah. Okay. That looks like a nice button, except I want more padding. So PX should be 3, PY should be 2. Bigger button, basically. Yes. Now I'm getting the feel of a button. What we will do is rounded XL, like a good chunk of roundness. MD maybe. Yeah, MD looks good. Now the issue is the plus button and the create new do not have proper spacing in them. So let's add that. In the SVG we have H5W5. Can we do H4W4? eh, I think 4 is the better one. Did that not, like, oops. Yeah. And this is where we will do margin right 2. That's too much. 1 is good. Except again, if I zoom in, it's not properly aligned for some reason. And I have no idea how to fix it. That's a real bummer. Okay. I want to use this plus button instead of this one. So this one is like very thin and light and all. I want a bolder text. So what we'll do is we'll just paste it on top, fix any alignment, copy this class and paste it here, and basically get rid of the old one. Much better. Actually, let's just get rid of the SVG altogether. Because why not? Now the button, look, has enough padding on the y-axis, but does not have enough padding on the x-axis. So what we'll do is px3 now, px4 we'll do. That looks like a good button. Okay, we have a call to action button. Let's instead of calling it create now, let's call it sign up, because we were making a login page. So sign up, and we have a few menus, and we have our logo and our this thing, the text here. Text, I feel like the text is looking too thin, so let's make it font semi bold. Much better. Is this button semi bolded? Bold. Way better. I like it. Now that we have this and a good logo and everything looks good, next thing we need to do is we need a dark theme toggle so that everything is dark theme switchable. So for that, I am going to, well, let's implement dark theme once we have enough time, because right now we are running out of time, kind of. So let's do that. And what I will do here is first thing is we need a login form. Let's look at some login form images, right? I'll go to Dribble, which is my favorite website. and go to and search login page. Let's see what comes up. Let's get some inspiration out of it. So there is a text, there's a giant text that says login, and then there is email password. Okay. We have a giant text, so let's make that. And for that, I'm going to come out. I'm going to say login, or let's call it main actually. Now, I'm kind of liking the design of this login page here. So I will go with the same one, and I will have like a some sort of an artwork here. Not like this, but maybe something different, an artwork here, and the login actually on the side. For that, let's split our main section into two things. So let me make two divs. This is the left one, the login form div. The artwork div, and both here and here. Oops, that's not proper indentation. Okay, so both here and here, I'm going to do an H1, call it first one. Okay, this one I'm going to call it artwork. We'll have the artwork at some other point, not now, but here I'm going to say login form, just so we can align the layout properly. Okay, we've got two of them, really small and tiny, right? So what we will do is we will say for this, I'm going to give a class of flex. You can see they both started to sit together. And here I am going to say, what shall we be doing? How do I put things side by side? Exactly take 50% of the width in flex. Maybe we can just say with class w dash. Okay, let me refer to Tailwind documentation. Okay, there is like got it. 1/2 should be good. W dash 1/2. That worked flawlessly. Cool. Now that it worked, this I'm going to call it flex again, and I'm going to say justify center and items center. Artwork comes. Wait, that didn't come in the center. That doesn't appear. It's not vertically centered, and the reason is I don't have full height on the document. So I'll go to HTML class h dash full. Still no change. And in body, I'm still going to have h dash full. Still no change. And in let's minimize header. We are done with it. And here I'm going to say h dash full. And now you can see that fixed our wait. Damn, what the hell? Does that really happen? Oh no 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 no. How about I remove h dash full here? Wow, I didn't I didn't know that was a thing. I guess I don't need to have h dash fulls here. That was the wrong thing to do. Let's add h dash full here itself. No? Wow, strange. I didn't know that was a thing. Okay. Anyhow, we'll figure it out. That's the next obvious step. Oops. How many? Two selections? Let's leave them. Can I do flex call here or something like that? Damn, if it is flex, it's supposed to be h dash full. No? Why does it not work? Let's have a BG to one of them. Let's figure out. Okay. Now this is not full. Why? Because this is not full. Why? Because I think, okay, can I do display flex here and flex direction column? Still not full. It's better we have flex direction column on the body actually. This is a common practice that a lot of developers actually follow. Now the issue is we want this to be completely, filled. That does not seem to be happening for some reason. And if I do h full here, still no change, no change. Then I'll have to come back to the same old technique where I apply. Wait, how did that magically work? I don't know, but it did. Okay, this is what we wanted. And essentially what we will do is here some artwork is going to come, and here this is on the other side is where we will have our login form. Again, for the login form I will do flex call, justify center, items center, puts everything on the same section. And what we will do is we will remove this bg dark here. Cool. And here, as in our design, there's a big login title. So in the login form, yeah, let's just use this one. Why not, right? So let's call it class log space in it was. So I will do that. Not login form. Okay. And text 3XL. Let's try that font. Okay. Still not good enough for me. 4XL. 4XL is good. Font semi bold or font bold. Looks good to me. How about text 5XL? Let's see. Actually, 5XL does not look good. Let's move back to 4XL. And then what we have is some credentials. So let's add that, some text. So let's add a p tag. Welcome to Alpa. This Alpa I want to have as a span, and the text color should be, oh, that's not where I should type text brand. Okay. And here the color, text color should be text dark. We have the dark color that we specified, and I want that. So welcome to Alpa. Please put your login credentials. Okay. Please. Okay. We need a comma here. Please put your login. Please put the configured to manage your short links. That's my own, like a modified description. Okay. I want this to come in 2 lines like the design did. And so for that, we will have a max width and all. But before that happens, I want to make the font weight a bit bigger, because I don't know why, but I feel like this is very thin font. Font medium, maybe. Much better. And 2 lines. So max width, maybe. Class max dash w dash sm. Way too small. MD. Not ND, MD. Much better. And this I think is, oh no, I know why that didn't work. Okay, so we need to wrap everything. You see how it's everything is like center aligned? That's because we have items center, right? If I, for example, remove item center, you'll see it goes down, but we want this alignment in the center. So for that, what we will do is we'll wrap everything in another div like that. Now it all makes sense, right? And then we'll also make it flex call. Perfect. And I want some spacing between login and other elements. So I'm going to say space dash y-axis and 4. That looks good. Welcome to Alpa. Please put the configured log. What is put? I don't like that word put. Input. Input will be much more technical than put. Put sounds lame. Email and password. Okay. Is there a line between them? Okay, just space. Cool. We'll have some ridiculous amount of spacing there. And we will have a form. I don't have an action for the form. It's just a form. And in this form, we will be having a input group, email and password. So let's have like a, how do we do and is there an F group element or something like that? What is a prompt? Damn. Why does it think this is JavaScript? What? Why does it put like this code? I don't know. I don't know. VS Code basically has gone crazy. So let's look at Tailwind CSS form example because I'm unable to figure it out. I've never done anything like this. So you have a form and okay, that's just a div. That's it. Okay. Simple. Fair enough. Div. Label. For I don't know. I'll fill it up. Let's call it for username. Username, not small one, long one. Input text. Oh, not test. There we go. Name is going to be username and ID will also be username. And we will also have a placeholder that is username with a capital U, of course. Okay. Starting to look the same, look similar. Cool. Do I have a colon there? No, it looks very clean there. We will also not have a colon. Then we have a similar thing for password. I'll add one more. This will make password first. Okay. For this all small password. And this is a capital password. Okay. So if I type username, something comes up. If I type passwords, dots come up. Exactly. Oh, why is the second one username? Password. Cool. That looks good. We will have to fix the alignment to make it look as professional as this one. We'll do it in just a second. Okay, now that we have this, I want to do first thing that we have to do is we need to add some top spacing. So for that, I hope everyone here is finding it engaging, not like boring. Okay, first thing what we'll do is say MT margin top 4, not 41, 4. Has some space, 8 maybe, 12. Yeah, for some reason it's not working. Let's use PT. Oh, that's a lot. 8. Uh, 8 seems good to me. We will move forward with it. We'll change it when necessary. Then username and password should be here, but the text elements should completely, go on the other side. What I'll do is I'll take this class margin max MD and add it to our div instead. Oops, max width MD. Looks the same, but technically I moved the width from only having with this text to the entire block. Now here, what I should be able to do is say, wait 1 second, let me check if it's width full. form. Yes, form is width full. So in these divs, I should be able to do flex on both of them. Now I clicked on the wrong spot. Flex. Okay. And then for them to be pushed, right? Pushed to the side, what I will do is I'll say go to label, class, margin right, auto. If it worked, you see how that worked, right? Okay, they have been pushed. Now, according to the design, they have like much higher of a width, not like the slim kind of it. So let's change that as well. So I will go here and here, add a class, w dash, maybe 24. And that's too small. 48, still small. 52, starting to look better. Let's get the numbers here. 52, after 52, 72. Let's try 72. Exactly what we want, right? Does that look good? Any feedback till now? Come on, you're not supposed to be silent here.
Excellent.
Can you change the that input thing like a curly round?
We will definitely do that. Just like how we did with the sign
And
up
what's
button,
the
we will
artwork
definitely.
you gonna do? What's the artwork?
What's the artwork? I'm not really sure. We can put anything here, right?
And I have one question that that if someone wants to, let's say there is login and the art was in two different parts, okay? It's like
Okay.
we made a line, okay? So how can we means I don't understand that how we can divide this.
How
Like
you can divide this? Very simple. Just add some border left. Not exactly border left. 1 second. Border right to this login container because it's exactly 50%, and you would get a border. Or
okay,
you can have like a border left to artwork, and then that way also you will have like a line in between exactly in the center because they are centered with, right? You can take much more complicated solution, but that's the easiest one that I can come up with.
and one last thing that isn't the CDN. You know that I seen an error that a CDN is not for production. So when you do
Ah,
production,
no, this is not production code, right? So it's out of question. You keep asking me like out of point questions.
no. I just asking because no, I got that error also.
It's used for, oh, by the way, did I just forgot to tell you, for those who were watching this from the beginning, there were like few more warnings. They are gone now. As I said, they'll go by time. Okay. Now that we have username and password, let's make them beautiful. Let's finish it till at least forgot password and login and this much. And we'll finish up. Just give me a few more minutes, right? Cool. Now that we have this email and password, I want to be, I want them to look a little bit better. If I type first thing, I have like black text for some reason. I don't want black text, not test, black text. I'm sorry, I'm not able to speak today. Text brand. Exactly. Hmm. What else? Some padding maybe. PX4, like the button, and PY2, again, like the button. Okay, these two, I do not have any spacing between them. So let's add some spacing here. Here I will add, and that is space Y2, maybe Y4. 4 looks much better. And now we have one more error, and that is username is here. This is of a higher width, higher height than username string. So you can see how the username is a little bit aligned at the top. I'll show you 1 second. If I go to the label, you see label is aligned at the top, input is at the center. Label is at the top and input is at the center. So let's just fix that out. And I'm pretty sure you know what I'm going to do by now. The drill, that is item center. Simple. Now everything is in center, right? Now you know the drill. Now the idea is we do not want this ugly black outline, is what I'd like to say. So for that, there was this thing called appearance none Tailwind CSS class. I mean, I already remember it. So let's go to both the inputs here and here and say like that. Damn, that didn't work. Perfect. Outline none is what we wanted. Username, password. I want the text to be a bit more bolder. So font bold. And that's crazy bold. Semi bold is what we did. Semi bold looks good. Cool. Username and password, and I want some border because that looks horrendous in my opinion. Have some classes there. Border dash brand, border dash 2 not equals to 2 dash 2, much better. And as exploiter suggested, not suggested, I mean pointed out, rounded MD. Does that look good? Anyone? Any better suggestion? Anything? I actually am not liking the text color here. It's way too much. Like, it's weird. Still not liking it. Where did I write text? Text brand. Much better. Looks way more professional at this point. Okay, we have the input elements styled up. Next thing what we want is forgot password. Forgot password is a small link. For that, what I will do is it's a link. So I'm gonna use like something outside of this form. And you can see in the alignment, forgot password is aligned this way. So I'm gonna make a div. Intentionally, I'm gonna give it a BG of gray 100. I usually use pink, but this time I'm gonna use a gray and have a H tag and say forgot password. Okay, we have a forgot password, but it's aligned in the wrong thing. Now, the reason why I added that gray, if I do like, for example, gray 300, you will see you can see the difference. The reason why I added like that gray background is so that if I can see the container is, the parent of forgot password is using full width or not. If not, I would have to make that full width before I can do this adjustment. That's why. Now I'm going to use the same technique. See, flexbox is the king here. Flex, items, and can I do items without center? Can I do items end? Maybe does that work? No, items. Okay, let's search for that. Yeah, there is items end. What the hell? Oh, this is, we should be using justify here. Justify end, and that looks the way it should. And let's make it text brand and empty 4 maybe, some spacing, empty 8, more spacing. Oh, empty doesn't work. I'm really sorry. That's a lot. Works. And now that we are satisfied with the result, I will remove our ugly gray. Does that look good? Come on, I want feedback. I'm not coding. I'm not a mad person to screen share and code. Feedback, feedback. Someone should tell me. How does that look? Does that look good? Does that look really bad, ugly? I don't know. Tell me.
Good,
There are
good, good.
better people. Yeah,
From
yeah,
my
Adit.
side, it's looking good.
Okay.
Like it's looking very simple, it's very straightforward.
Yes. Once you put artwork, then you will see how different it is. We
Yeah,
had the
yeah.
same thing.
Vasant, you can take it a suggestion from Joshit.
Huh.
He is a very
Joshit is really good at designing, but I'd like to show you our website, our community's website. Learn with community website. This is also developed by me. And before we had this artwork here, it looked very simple, and we were like, "What the hell? Why is it so simple?" Right? So, but then what happened was, we made this artwork, like thanks to one of our designers, Swati. We made this artwork, and now it looks amazing. All that it is lacking is animations. Once we have like dope animations, pretty sure it's gonna look crazy. So that's the idea. Now that we have forgot password in the design, moving forward, we have this line, and the way I'm going to make now I'm pretty sure exploiter will know how to make lines here. There is a tag called HR. How many of you know HR tag? Quick question.
Yep, no.
No, no, I don't know.
Wow, that is strange. Really strange. Okay. Class, you can customize it. I'm going to say border. I think let's call it text brand. That didn't change anything. BG brand, maybe. Still didn't change anything. I want to see how it's styled. Where did the HR? I don't even know how this works. That's the thing. I only know there's a tag called HR which puts a
एचआर
line.
का आई गेस बॉर्डर चेंज करना पड़ता है बॉर्डर कलर
Let's see.
मुझे
Border color. I did that actually. It didn't work. See, if I do border
जी
brand. Oh, that worked. Who was that?
परम
आप तो सच में परम लग रहे हो. क्यों भाई?
अरे मैंने तो बस एच सीएसएस ही अभी शुरू करी है तो उसमें था तो तभी
अगर
मेरे
तू
को
जो
यस
डिव दिया है तूने उसका मार्जिन बॉटम करेगा कलर तो तब भी आ जाएगा एचआर देने की जरूरत नहीं होगी
कर सकते हैं बट ये एक्चुअली एसईओ के लिए फ्रेंडली है दैट देयर इज अ लाइन हियर बिकॉज एचआर टैग इज मेंट फॉर डिनोटिंग अ लाइन.
सिमेंटिक एचटीएमएल
इट्स अ
राइट
सेपरेट इट्स अ सेपरेटर. तो ये चक्कर है
We
थोड़ा.
can also use divide width.
We can there are several ways as a from a css perspective. There are thousand ways to make a line, but I am using an hr because um, it's the most semantic way and I want this line not to be so thick. So हम करते हैं इसको 25 और ये हम करते हैं बॉर्डर है ना तो हम करते हैं बॉर्डर 2. That's way too big. 1 pixel. I'm using custom values now. 1 pixel looks good. It was actually 0.5. Tailwind's default is actually 0.5, so that's why it didn't work. Again, I would like to have PT4 here. Damn, that's producing very weird artifacts. So I'm gonna wrap it in PT. Looks good to me. This can it be 10? I want this to be a very subtle, line. I just wanted to know that okay, the line exists. We have a remember me and a login button. So again, I'm gonna make one more. Should I make one more? Not really sure. Let's put them here itself. Or let's make one more. Why not? So we have a div again, a checkbox and a button. So button log in where there's our button checkbox. Remember, let's give it remember for now. Is there a label? That's getting confusing. There's no checkbox example. Why am I looking at old, like ridiculously old Tailwind documentation? I don't know. There seems to be like a label one here. If there is a label for this, then there will be a label for this as well. for remember. Is that sure? भाई ये उधर क्यों आया?
लेबल को बाद में लिख दो।
क्या पुक के बना रहा हूँ? ये सही है। 2 सेकंड में पूरा अंग्रेजी भूल गया मैं। वाह वाह। Okay, that looks good. Now here I want to have flex again. Justify between. Perfect. Whew. And then here we need the button to be properly styled, I guess. And then we also let's have an item center as well. Just I know that this button is big. 1 second. I'm getting a lot of WhatsApp messages. Let me see. Okay, there seems to be some conversation that I'm not concerned about at this point. Button, we will use the same classes. We had a button here. And where did our button? Damn, I came too low. Huh. BG is going to be brand. Text is going to be white. Everything else is centered. मजा आया किसी को? ये कलर बहुत बेकार है.
वसंत, that you do the configuration in the tailwind ना, जो brand आ गया और dark आ गया.
हाँ या
हाँ, तो अगर समझ ले कि मेरे को लाइक मॉड्यूल्स अगर जो उसमें होता है क्या कहते हैं फ्रेमवर्क्स में, ठीक
हाँ
है, ऐसी कॉन्फ़िगरेशन कैसे कर
सेम.
सकते
यहाँ पे whatever configuration you did, you can do the same thing.
हैं? ओके, दैट आई कैन मेक अ टाइपस्क्रिप्ट फाइल देन
Yes, you can.
ओके, ठीक है.
I want this to be px8, not mx8. And pt4. 4 looks good to me, but I definitely don't like the blue on the checkbox here. Completely. Wait a second. What the hell? The text is blue? We don't need that. Where did our color scheme go? This one. Let's pick very light wala shade. Copy. I'm going to write some CSS. I'm going to cheat. So I'm sorry. Sorry for cheating. Tailwind doesn't support this. So I'm cheating here. Maja aa gaya. We want a more light, even lighter. Damn, that looks crap. Complete crap over there. यहाँ पे सही है, यहाँ पे फट गया. The way we will fix that is we will have additional rules. Simple. Why did I forget? I'm typing font color here. Let me fix it. अरे ये फिर से आएगा, फटेगा. वाह, गया, फट गया. Okay, copy. Hopefully that works. That fixed our. Hey, hi. Definitely didn't work. Background color maybe. There's a more specificity here, so this should work for header. If I do background color black, something is going wrong at this point. Okay. We'll fix that sometime later, not for now, because it's been too late. It's already 8 minutes up, right? We have the login button, remember me, and what else is remaining in this design? Just don't have an account sign up wala button. I mean sign up wala link. Let's make that up and we will finish up for today. So I want another div here. Class flex. Justify center. Item center. P. Don't have an account. Anchor hashtag sign up. Put an exclamation. Why not? Okay. This one I'm gonna say class font brand. That was text brand. I'm sorry. My bad. And py 8. Okay. So that was it for today. Maybe some other day we will have like an animation session, like how to do animations in GSAP and all. We can definitely explore that. But for now, yeah. So now we're pretty much done with it. Let me close all the pages and push this to production so that you guys can, I mean, you folks can. I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix my gender annotation issues so that you people can look at it. Let me put this into production. So you should be able to see this on vsnth try.vsnth.dev/pages/alpha-login. Right now it'll throw 404. So let me push this code. Okay, go back. Push, and we will say created alpha login page. Save. That pushed completely. And in just a few minutes, it should be auto deployed, but I'm going to open up my GitHub repo. You will see it says, what the hell? All checks passed. Did it like deploy? That was crazy fast, but it's deployed. So this is the URL. Through Aditya, tell me where should I put this? The link so that you all can click and view on your own computers.
You can see the live class resources, community live section. Just
Okay.
upside.
Class resources. I'm going to put this link right there. And that's the last one, last message right there. I want all of you to please save me from shame. Don't open this link in your mobile phone. It's going to look absolutely horrendous if you do that. If you see, it looks completely janked.
Wasn't that if I want to make a responsive, so what we have to see it?
Uh, well, you can make this responsive. One thing that I'd love to do to make this responsive is I'll just show you. Okay, it's not the way. Just gonna show you like a rough, design. So what I'll do is I'll go to my HTML. There is this artwork wala thing right here. Let me add a BG again. Oh, I'm looking at the production one. There we go. So you have the BG. I want on smaller resolutions, right? Like this. I don't want this to appear. Everything else is already good except the nav bar. The content I'm going to show is on smaller screens. I don't want it to appear. So on MD, I want this to be flex. And by default, I want this to be hidden. That's basically display none. On LG, I want this to be flex. Sorry.
What MD does? What MD does?
MD is a breakpoint, just like how you have CSS breakpoints. There we go. That's not what we want. The default ones. MD is basically 768 pixels. LG is 1024. XL is 1280, and then 2XL is 1536. These are breakpoints.
Okay, okay.
And for smaller breakpoints, I do not want this to appear. First change. right? And I want this whatever is in the side to be in the center. I had no idea why. Oh, this because this is still 50% width, right? So that's why. And so that's why here what I will do is I'll take that Control X W dash full LG W dash, or I can just paste that in. Bam. Right? That looks good on a mobile. And that started to look a little bit better. Well, let me just please remove the horrible background. Why did it not change? Some reason it did not. My internet is dead or what? Hey, can you people hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now it took a while. I don't know why. Okay. You can see how that's like a little bit more responsive. On the mobile, it doesn't really show the artwork, which is fine because mobiles have low bandwidth and whole bunch of other processing issues. On desktop, you can do crazy stuff, right? Even for animations and all, we usually apply animations only to desktops, not really mobiles, because on mobiles, sometimes animations can look really jittery. They don't look smooth. So that's the thing. But a simple thing on how you can have an artwork and a login page at the same time, right? So that was it for today. I hope you all liked it, and I hope you all want
If there is a
more.
cheat sheet about Tailwind, cheat sheet.
Not really sure. You can just Google, right? There will be a Tailwind cheat sheet. You can just Google and it'll figure it out.